Okay, so think this in your head right now. When you pick Twitch, how many times do you pick her for the drone or for the gun? Twitch is one of those operators where her gadget works on almost every bomb site. But the reason why she's so popular isn't because of the Zappy drone. Oh yeah, did I mention it jumps now? Her primary weapon, known as the F2, is quite literally a consistent top 10 weapon in Siege. So since she's been viable almost every season that she's been out, which is literally since the beginning of the game, that's quite impressive if you ask me. Because if you think about it, compared to other operators that have like their shining moments like Finka or Doc when he had ACOG, she's been a reliable pick all of these years. I've been playing Twitch since I started playing this game about 5 years ago and racked up many hours on Xbox and also my current days on PC. She's one of the easiest operators to pick up when you first start playing Siege, and that's no doubt. But if you want to learn how to get better with her fast and literally fold the entire enemy defense, here's 5 tips that I have for you. The first important thing is that you need to treat your drones like lives. A bad habit I see a lot of Twitch players doing is getting their drones shot too early. Many times on defense, I shoot their drones too easily because they're too obvious with them. Scope out the area and see what default cameras you can take out fast, so that way they can't spot it easily too. Also, if you're driving them into a risky area, find ways to cover up the sound like a flashbang or maybe something that your teammates can throw to buy you enough time to get the job done. If you find the time you enter the drone is a little bit too risky, bring it back out, wait a bit, and bring it back to cover. It's worth the 10-second wait, that way you can actually work the utility. Your Twitch drones, if used correctly, can be round changing, and it's really funny to irritate the enemy because their setup will get folded by a shock drone. I recommend that you use your regular drone to get you like in the building quicker and also taking that map control, but I would only use your shock drones if it's the last resort. So to make sure you keep in mind to treat your drones like actual lives. The second thing I have for you today is to utilize the infinite range. This is a somewhat recent change to her drones that I don't think a lot of players realize. Find some creative parkour spots that you can throw your drone up there, or you can even jump it up too. You can find ways to reach utility that you normally can't. For example, like on Bank, if you throw your drone on the top ATM's window, you can actually zap any wall denial off the E3 wall. This is one of the many examples that you can utilize the infinite range, so find those spots that you can use it on. The third thing that I learned during these 100 hours of Twitch is to enter the off areas to catch players off guard. I can't tell you how annoying it is when you hear a shock drone, and by the time you go shoot it, it already opened up a mirror or got your ADSs for a really important setup. Moral of the story, it also keeps your enemies uneven and uncomfy if they have a fear about a shock drone constantly on them. An example is on Oregon. If you can sneak the drone on the laundry bomb site through the front and to the back drone hole, you can actually gather a lot of utility on the shield. And normally on any bomb site when there's heavy holds, get the shock drone on the opposite side to start working it. One thing you can do is that you can spawn the opposite side and then throw your drone across the building to get it to enter a sneaky door. The shock drone itself is already pretty quiet. I would just recommend to only jump when you need to because it does give a loud sound in its position away. So every time you attack a bomb site, try to find ways where you can spawn in a decent spot and get that drone quick enough. And if not, then bringing it through the front side of where all the utility is okay. Now this next tip that I have for you guys does take a little bit of practice, but is something that I learned through the hours I racked up with Twitch. And now that there's always reworks going on, Twitch is honestly the thing that can counter a lot of metas right now. And the thing you need to learn and teach yourself is to educate on how you can clear utility better. Shock drones can counter a lot of things on defense that you might not think about too. Sometimes you can actually save a Gon 6 or a grenade by just getting the bulletproof cameras with your drone, or even like a Goyle shield. She can also save you a lot of time too. Like when you encounter a Mozzie pest, see if you can just try to get an angle on it or enter a different way. Just as long as you take your time to assess and how to take it out properly is the thing that matters the most. This also applies to the first tip, is to be mindful about how long your drones last and sharpen your jukes and your movements. Obviously, there's going to be times where your drone does get shot because they're just looking at it, but there's times where you can actually save it by doing like a reverse jump. And also, if you look at the floor when you're jumping behind you, it can kind of give your drone a boost instead of having to 180, and it gives you like a really easy target. I mean, honestly, nothing frustrates me more on defense when I cannot hit a drone, especially when it's a shock drone. And over time, what also will help you even more is watching good Twitch players. Honestly, every time Twitch is brought into Pro League, I learn a new way of how to destroy some sort of gadget because they're just so damn good with Twitch. Off the top of my head, there's some people like Godly, Uzi, Bolo, or some people you can kind of scope out that play Twitch a lot. Even in Pro League, if you see her being played, pay attention to their skills and habits. Being able to fold the entire defense with the one zappy boy is game changing, especially in the right hands. And the last tip I have for you guys, this is probably one of the most important because this was what helped me the most. I didn't really learn this until about, I'd say, a year ago of playing Twitch. And I think it's what's going to help people the most as well. And the best part is, you don't even have to use your drones for this tip too. The fifth and final tip I have for you guys for Twitch is that she is a good option to rely on as your backup operator too. So what I mean by that is actually a lot simpler than you think. No matter what, let's say you had, a rough day at school, rough day at work, you just are in a pretty bad mood. Or maybe you're in a slump in Siege, like you're getting no kills and your confidence is really low. Trust me, pick Twitch for a few rounds. Coming from a support player where sometimes I get no action and I feel like I'm just getting smoked all the time, the next round I'll just pick Twitch and I'll fry someone and realize that it's all in my head. Her gun is really easy to get kills with to regain back your confidence and that people are really not as good as you think. I mean, come on, she has shock drones, which is some of the easiest utilities you use in Siege, and it's honestly a breath of fresh air after playing support ops all day. Especially in solo queue, unlike a lot of players who don't use their drones correctly and they just crouch walk with the F2 around the map. Which is not a bad thing to do, sometimes it does help, but it's not a consistent way of winning. What's also good is that she can help almost anybody. She can help Thermite get the wall open, so clear some ADSs, just clear any kind of pesky gadgets that defenders have set up for you. Even in 5 stacks, if you want to do a quick plant, if you don't have time to use a utility a lot, she has a good gun. She has 3 drones you can use on the side and smoke grenades for a sneaky plant. So just keep that in mind if you're having to have a bad day. Twitch is a really big confidence booster. And even if you're a Twitch main watching this and you're still having a bad day, I would just recommend you take a break from the game, step back for a bit, and kind of come back with a fresh mindset. Looking back at all these hours of Twitch I racked up through the years, I realized one thing. Being a support player is boring and I'm going to be a professional Twitch main. But all jokes aside, you should remember these 5 things to help elevate your Twitch gameplay. Treat the drones like lives. A bad habit I see a lot of players doing is getting their drones shot way too early, so keep them alive long enough to clear those pesky gadgets. Remember to also utilize the infinite range, it's really fun. Get the drone to enter off areas to catch the players off guard. Normally on any bomb site, wherever there is the heaviest utility hold, get the shock drone on the opposite side and let it work. That leads to you educating yourself on how to clear utility better, which will come with this playing the game. Being able to fold the entire defense with one zappy boy is game changing in the right hands. Like I said, if you're having a bad day, getting no kills with low confidence, just pick Twitch for a few rounds. Her gun's really easy to get kills and regain your confidence back too. If this video did help you, share this with a friend who does play a lot of Twitch, or save this for yourself in the future. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more Siege content.